Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So today I'm going to make something with these envelopes. You remember what we kind of coloured these envelopes? So I'm going to make something with these, and I've got some coffee dyed paper here that's quite big. So I'm going to make it in this style. So remember, I've gone through a big phase of really loving making these again. So yeah, so remember I made these, which are the kind of floating concertina spine or accordion spine journals. I absolutely love making these, and I really love the way that they look, because they look very like a document, like a manuscript that's like filled and tattered, etc. Because then I made these small ones. I think I made those on camera, and then I made this one, which was a narrow one, which we filled on camera. So anyway, I'm going to make some more of these, but I'm going to make them bigger so that they can more this shape, but bigger, but not as big as that one, so that they can accommodate the size of an envelope. That's basically where I'm going with that. So and we're going to make them, so normally when I've made them before, so the tab is quite big. I want to see how small I can go with the tab without it compromising its rigidity. Yeah, that. Just move those out of the way because I wanted to show you. I absolutely love those journals. One of my very, very favourites. So I'm going to use this for the spine, the various spines. So whereas the smaller ones I made it with just one spine, so the smaller ones that were more this sort of size just had one concertina. The larger ones, they had 3 in. I think I'm going to go for another 3, and I'm going to go for them for a round. So this is not a instructional video, this is more of a craft along with me while I work out what I'm doing. So I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to go for a 1.5. Is that going to be too wide? No, because we want it to be secure enough to hold it. So I'm going to go for 1.5, and then we'll just do a few more. I'll just cut all of this down into 1.5 strips, and then we'll go from there. We might need more of this, because I'd like it to be quite a thick journal. So what I'm hoping to do is I'm going to have them so that there's envelopes and signatures as well. So put this back in here. So I wasn't filming for last Friday. I did that just talking head about the sale on my Etsy, which has now, well, by the time you're watching this, has ended. It's the last day for me because I'm recording this on the Sunday. So sorry about last week, just haven't been feeling with it really. A lot of work, as you all know. I work long hours in my day job, and I work tirelessly in my day job, so I needed a bit of me time. So I'll speed various parts of this video up because I know you've all seen it. If you haven't seen me make that other one, I'll show you in the video description. There'll be a link to the video where I'll show you how to make it, but I'm gonna just sit and kind of craft and chat and all that good stuff, but as I do all of that, I will be speeding bits up because you've seen me make these bits before. So just so you know what the situation is. Okay, so I'll either speed it up, or I will cut it out. One of the two. just so you're aware. Okay, so this is kind of the size that I'm thinking I'm going to make my spine fixings. So I've got a lot to make, so I've got a pile here that I need to make, so I'll come back to you. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've finished doing, well, I think I've finished doing the concertinary part. I think that's going to be enough. I did 9 of these, I think. 3, 6, yeah, 9. So obviously now all I need to do is join them together so that we have a continuous strip of 3. So 3 of these joined together will be one continuous strip, and then that will give us, so that's the other way up, Dave. There we go. So because those are the things that hold the front and back covers, so then we'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 of envelope pages. No, 22 envelope pages with a signature over each one of those, which will give us double that, so that's 44 pages plus the 22, so 66 pages. Maths with Dave. So I'm going to join these together and then we can go from there. So rather than making you watch in fast forward me doing that, because it took quite a bit of time, I turned the video off, so the camera may have moved a little, turned the video off and carried on with my audiobook. I'm currently listening to one of my favourite book series is Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin, and I read it when I was younger and I absolutely loved it, and I've read it twice since then, and now I'm listening to it as an audiobook read by Armistead Maupin himself. So if you don't know, it's about life at Barbary Lane in San Francisco in the late 70s, early 80s, mid 70s, early 80s, something like that. And obviously there's, like, you know, gay characters, and there's intrigue, and there's romance, and there's all sorts of stuff that intertwined lives, and it's just, I loved it. So I loved it as a young man. I've loved it again periodically throughout my life, and I'm re-loving it as an audiobook because, let's face it, I don't have time really to scratch my head, let alone read a book. And also I'm dyslexic, so reading a book was always a challenge. I've never really enjoyed reading a book because I found it a trial to read, because if you know, also I don't have an imagination, you know this, I've told you this before, so I don't really have an imagination. I can recreate things I've seen before and that sort of thing, but I haven't. If you're reading a book and you've never seen these things, you can't really recreate them. So but I've now watched I watched the series of Tales of the City. They did a dramatised version for TV and all of that. And I've watched those a few times. Channel 4 in the UK did one. I think it was in association with an American channel. Anyway, and then there's like a reunion one that's on Netflix that I've watched, you know, a couple of years ago, I think that was. And anyway, so that's what I have in my head now when I read them. So it's so much more enjoyable for me with that kind of like image in my head. So yes, so that's what I've been doing. So that's what I was listening to while I was doing these. I've just paused it, obviously, for copyright reasons. Can't play you any of that. So I've paused it so that I can get on with the next bit. So I've glued all those bits together, and they're just going to sit and kind of bond Yeah, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to fold all the bits of paper that we want to go in there, in the journal. So again, it's just going to be a bit of folding, and I'll come back to you when I'm done, if that's okay with you. So I'm just going to fold, and I will see you back here, well, either in moments, or if I decide to fast forward through it, I don't know, or in minutes, I don't know, it depends. So I've got some other pages as well, by the way, just so you know. I've got, because I didn't know how many pages I'd end up with, so I've got these here. So I will make enough for the, what did I say there were? 22 of those. Yeah, 22. So I'll make sure there's 22 folded pieces of paper as the signatures. So be back here in a few minutes. Okay, so again, I am going to come back to you. Okay folks, so I'm back. I have this is the 22 signatures now, which will go into the thing. I'll just explain to you. So I've got one sheet of red that it hasn't been coffee dyed, and two that have. I've got one of these large A4 envelopes which I've folded so that it is the envelope bit at the base at one side and the top bit, so I could fold it over and make it a shorter page, or I could leave it open. Then that's something I can decide later, you know, and then I can decide whether I cut this half off or this half, or I cut slots in it to make pockets like that. So there's a couple of those envelopes in here. There's just some coffee dyed lightweight paper. There's this, which is one of those one of the larger envelopes opened out, so it's literally I've just cut one edge off it and the top half off, so I've got these fold out bits. There's another one of them. That's because I wanted one to be that way up and one to be that way up. I've got this, which is it's one of these. It's like a weekly planner thing that I've just cut the top off. I've left the bit at the bottom. So that's one of those, and that's another one just folded slightly differently. That's another one of those envelopes, but this time I've cut it so that there's two parts that stick together, so they overlap each other, so there's two stuck together like that. They've got a pocket on this one, and it's got a pocket on this one. Okay, and then this is also open, so it should be that way up. Pocket here, but we've also then got a pocket at the top of each page. So there we go. So there's that. There's a couple of just more coffee dyed things, but with, oh, that's like this. This has got a fold out bit here, or you can turn it into a pocket. Again, with this one, it's this way. This one, it's on the outside, that way. And then this one, it's on the outside, so it's at the back. Yeah, then we've got coffee dyed. Another envelope, like the other one. Coffee dyed, coffee dyed, coffee dyed, coffee dyed, coffee dyed. So that's what I've got. I'll put them in kind of randomly. Okay, so they're all sort of a similar size. They're not exactly the same size, so some of them are slightly shorter pages, some of them are slightly longer pages. I'm not really too fussed about that, just about how long the paper was, or you know, if I had to trim it down. So now what I'm going to decide is how I'm going to have these. So I know I'm going to have 3 of these, so they're going to go kind of like that. Okay, hang on a minute, I'm just thinking, do I change this? Do I change it so that it goes like that and have 2? Oh, I don't know, hang on. Hang on, right, got to think about this. So do I want them? So, oh no, I've folded them that way. They've got to stay that way. So yes, I've folded them that way. So they've got to stay that way. So next time I will make one the other way. So I'm just going to decide how far apart we want these spaced. So we want it to be, so it's about 9 inches. It's a little short of 9 inches, I think. So it's 9 inches, and so I'd like to leave probably, I don't know, let's think about this. Let's have one of the pages as a test page. Let's use this red one. Put those out of the way for a minute. So, if we have these, I'm just going to turn it this way so it's easier to work out. So we've got 9 inches there or thereabouts. Oh, it is exactly 9 inches, that's fine. We have a terrible pencil. Do I have one that's working now? No, David, just pulled the thing out. Thought you'd put some more pencil lead in these. Clearly not in that one. So, it's very warm here today. So, for the middle of October in the UK to be warm means there's something wrong with the planet. I'll use this one. Oh, look at that. That's a nice pencil. Anyway, shh, Dave, get on with it. Yeah, so I'm very warm, so I'm a little bit sweaty today, but I can't open the window because the neighbours are being noisy. So, and these measure, what do they measure? 1.5 inches wide. They do measure 1.5 inches wide. So, let's say we put the first one at, let's go 1 1/4. So that's 2 1/4, 2 3/4 is the full width of 1. And then we do the same from the other end. So we're going to go 1 1/4 in, which is there. And go, that's 1. How wide did I just say? 1 1/4. 1. Well, you know what? Stupid, Dave. Or are they 1.5? 1.5. 1.5? 1.5. Yeah. So, sorry. So 1 and then a half. It takes us to there. So we've got between 6.5 and 2 3/4. So the middle of that is then no idea. Is 3.5. So half of 3.5 is a number. So half of 3.5 is, half of 3 is 1.5. Half of half is 1/4. So 1 3/4 is the middle. And then out from there, 3/4 of an inch that way is there. 3/4 of an inch that way is there. So it gives us that gap between each of the spines. Okay, so no, not happy with that, so let's do this way. So this is just me kind of getting my bearings. So I'm going to go 1/2 inch in from the top. We know it's 1.5 to there. 1/2 inch, sorry, an inch in from the bottom. 1.5 inches to there. The space between there is 4, so 1/2 4 is 2, so that's the middle. And then we're going to go 3/4 of an inch that way, and 3/4 of an inch that one. Don't move it. That way is there. So it's a bit better, so it's got a bit more of an even spacing there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a 3. Yeah, 3. Let's go for 3. So now we know where they're going. I'm just going to use that as a template, although Dave, you've completely, oh no, it's that one. So I'm going to use this as a template, and I'm just going to draw a line where I need to cut on all of them. So I need to draw a line, sorry, cut a line there, there, and there. So I need to do that on all of those pages, all of these pages, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so see you in a few more minutes. Okay, so I have now cut a slot in all of these. Some of them are in the middle, some of them are less so. It's not a big worry or concern for me. And now it's going to be about putting them together. So I've brought you back so that we can put them together. So we're going to need to have these kind of sort of spaced out where they're going to be and have them all the right way up. So the right way up, I know you've seen me make this before, but like, and I'll link the description, link in the description the other video. You should have the tab facing up because that'll give you the bit to be able to attach your front covers. So because we're going to make these into the spines and I want to kind of give them a bit of colour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them over before I assemble it, and I'm just going to give them a bit of a like an inking, so give them some kind of colour. I might put some other things on them, I don't know. I was thinking I might put some like washi sticker things on some of them, but I'm not sure that I want that. So I'm just going to go for giving them a bit of an ink. I think I might just go directly in with these things to give them some kind of just undulation or pattern or something. Now you don't see, when they're put together, you don't see all of this sticking out, okay? You will only see the very tip of it, so I wouldn't worry about giving it too much of an emphasis. In fact, actually, first of all, let's give the spines an emphasis even. Let's do that, and just some of that top edge, the corners, etc. Okay folks, so I have just finished inking and drying those. So I did do the insides because I thought, well, you know, if you do see any of it, I want it all to be nicely inked. I'm just going to make a lot of noise with this bag, obviously. I'm just going to get some elastic bands out of here, and I'm just going to bundle these together to kind of encourage them to be more concertinery, just while we get on with other stuff. So and that way then when they dry, they're going to be able to come back to the way that they were when we first concertinaed them, or what's the other word, accordioned them. Easier to say concertinaed than it is to say accordioned. I'm just going to, like I say, wrap them in some elastic bands just to keep them in that shape, and then we can kind of do other things. So one of those other things is I need to go and get something to eat and get a drink because I'm parched. So basically there'll be another cut in this video so that I can go and do those things, and that way then these will be nicely drying while I'm waiting. So there we go. So that's those. So what I'll do is I will come back to you again in a few minutes, but it'll be moments for you, maybe a half an hour or so for me. I'm going to sellotape that back down again, but I don't know where the sellotape is. So yeah, I shall be back in a moment. So see you in a mo. So Okay, so I'm back for these. I've tried to wash my hands the best I can, but you know, hey, I've been inking, so it's fine. So I'm going to put this together now. So I'm not going to do the cover. I think that might come in a different video. I think I'm going to put it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of the signatures first, and I've put them in the order of the kind of order that I want, which are here. And I think the envelopes we'll put in maybe when we do the cover, which will be the next video. So now it's just a case of assembling it. Now I know it's very awkward. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's well worth it. So I'm just going to put it all together and then go from there. So I'm going to put them all, put each one in individually. Make sure I've got it up the right way first, Dave. So open end up, open end up. That way. Cool. Right. So this first. So this is an open one, a cut one. So it's the first of the folded ones that goes in. So. I want to just get these in here, and then we're going to find the right thing for the thing to secure it. So that's where we need to be, is we need to get something that will secure this into here. So I think I'm going to use, now I've been toying with both of these, so I don't know whether to use this. I just think it's too green, or this. I think I've just decided here. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this to be the bit that goes down the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off at, where do I want to cut it? Yeah, I'll cut it off at that first score line, and I want to make it so that it's deep enough to hold it securely. So I believe that's going to be half an inch. So let's first of all cut it down to half an inch strips, and then we'll cut it from there. So again, we're going to need 22 of these. Let's do it the other way, Dave. Let's put that end I know is flat. So if I'm going to go for half an inch, which is there. Hold that over, Dave. Get a grip. Might be slightly off camera for this, so just bear with me. And again, I will speed this up so you don't have to. 11. Cool. So that's 11 of those. Put that to one side. And then what I'm going to do is, rather than cut them with a guillotine, I'm just going to cut them with a pair of scissors. Just on that bit there. Wrong end. Cool, there we go. So we've got 12 of, not 12, we've got 22 of these, which should be enough to go in each one of these. So hopefully I've measured correctly and this is the right size. So you just need to get this bit open. Hang on, just one of them, Dave, don't need both. Just the one. Cool. Once that's in, wiggle it, Get it through to come out the other side. Come on. Like I say, it's fiddly, but it's worth it. Like L'Oreal, I'm worth it. It should be called the L'Oreal journal. The L'Oreal spine. It's fiddly but worth it. Although I think L'Oreal is already taken, so I won't steal that as a brand name. And the thing is, once you get one in, that will kind of brace it for doing the other ones. So you see how it's kind of wanting to kind of put together. It'll get easier the more that you get in. You can hear that jingly music in the background. That means that the ice cream van has arrived on my street. If Vic was here, he would be dashing out there to get himself an ice cream. This is a bit of a big kit. So there you go. So that's that first piece, first signature in place, and the next ones are just going to go in exactly the same way. Again, this is something that I will do and won't bore you. I'll I'll speed some of it up, I guess, and then some of it I will cut out and just come back to you. So So there we go. Okay, so that's our signatures all in. Obviously I haven't put the envelopes in yet, but like as you can see, the spine looks quite chunky, but it compacts down nicely. The good thing about these is they're so forgiving of putting in all of those things you want to stuff them full of, because the spine will expand to a certain extent, so you're not going to end up with a gaping alligator mouth. So I've done those, so I think in the next video what we'll do is we will put the envelopes in and we will make the cover. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll see you in the next video. So don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love, lots of hugs, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.